Okay, for those of you who haven't yet got yourself some red cyan anaglyphic spectacles or clip-on frames like these ones, you can get them very cheaply on eBay, probably for like 99 cents for like the cardboard ones. Or you probably get dozens of pairs these days for that kind of price. But I've always loved 3D, and so I'm going to be doing much more in the way of shooting and editing in 3D, but I'm still going to be providing the same kind of content that I am now. Remember, of course, if you haven't yet got them, obviously get yourself some. Any type will do, as long as they're like red blue or red cyan. And I'll still carry on doing what I've done before. The early day videos which I did here on YouTube, they kind of like made the 16-line mechanical television created by Logie Baird long before the Thorn EMI cathode ray tube came along look a bit like high definition. Okay, the audio quality on my really old videos kind of like makes wax cylinders seem like Dolby surround sound digital by comparison. So the very fact that if you haven't got your anaglyphic equipment in place, you're still going to get the same effects, namely a fuzzy YouTube user who's going to be ranting at things he doesn't like and going on positively about the things he does like and wants to encourage in people. Generally speaking, I want to try and move towards what I'm interested in on this channel, and that's dealing with well-being. Okay? Well-being, health of mind, body, spirit, if you believe in it, or if you don't believe in it, still it's to do with your emotional components, diet, nutrition, exercise, sleep, that sort of things, and looking after that aspect. Probably focusing more on diet than on anything else, because my diet has evolved and developed into something really rather healthy and really rather splendid, which is great, totally great. But there's people out there who need pardon me, just had lunch, who need like help and support in getting themselves to a better place. And a lot of the psychological or emotional issues which I've struggled from in my life have actually become much less just through paying strong attention to my diet. I mean, strong attention, that means discipline, not just talking about it, not just watching YouTube videos about it and listening to people talking online about like new diets and new crazes and that sort of stuff, but actually working out what I want to do and to plan it and to put it into place and actually to do it. So I always nowadays take time off for my lunch break, and I have a proper lunch break, and I cook myself some proper food, and I do the same thing for my dinner break as well. And I've learned how to make my own snacks of various different types, and I want to share that with you big time. It's quite important. I don't just want to show you steaming food, although steaming is great. It's a wonderful, very cheap way of producing good food for yourself, or cooking and preparing good food. But there's also all kinds of other stuff which came out of raw, which I'm interested in, and there's other stuff which comes out of baking, which I'm interested in. There's so much out there. It's just like, wow. And of course, going more into like teas and coffees and yerba mates, which are fantastic. And it's all geared to working out what is right for your health. Okay? And sometimes I need to do more of one thing, and sometimes I need to do more of another thing, because I've developed this kind of like, how shall I put it? Kind of like a relationship, all right, with the way that my body reacts to different kind of stimulus that I put in it. Okay, it's not just a question of, I don't care, that's food, I'm going to eat it. It's more a question of, I know how I feel, I want to feel different in this way, I know what foods will bring me to that, so the next stage in my diet for the next week or two is going to be more of this stuff, And then I'll feel better in some ways, worse in other ways, so I then change. Let's say my energy levels have gone up, but my digestion's gone down, so I then adjust it more. And there's other stuff I want to find out about, and so that's what I'm going to be doing, and I want to do it all using fantastic three-dimensional imagery, because let's just be honest, all right? Is it possible to actually make 3D with content? I believe so. All right? There's a lot of 3D stuff which is out there just so you can sit there and go, ooh, wow. As you can, poke your viewers in the eyes with your fingers, whatever. But doing 3D with content, so you get much more of a feeling of space, and seeing me less as being a character on a screen, just a group of pixels floating around. Maybe it'll do you some good to actually see that, feeling of depth, which can only come with good quality, or indeed, well, good quality with the technology I've got right now. Okay, so this is Nick Dutch. Go in 3D, look after yourself, keep cool, and let's move towards more talking about wellness, health, well-being, diets, and yes, it's going to be great. And if my technology keeps going, which I believe it will, we're going to do it all in 3D.